Namaste.
Namaste.
Your Excellency and dear President, Namaste. I'm very much touched, deeply emotionally touched by your very warm reception. Not just your invitation, but the reception that I've been receiving with the Portuguese delegation. Both the government and the members of the Parliament, all of us, we feel that we're living a new era in the long-lasting friendship that has historical roots, but that is facing mostly the future. We do not forget the past. You spoke of how important is education, and I think of those learning the Portuguese here in India, in your schools also, and also culture, and the ties between cultural institutions everywhere in India, but also in Goa, as we're going to see by signing some of the agreements. But we live in the present that is a present made of change and of the common will, political will, of shaping the future and a better future for both countries. Excellency, you mentioned so many fields where we are cooperating. Economy, technology, science, culture, education, social affairs, defense. And we're cooperating. When I say cooperating, I'm speaking of the state, I'm speaking of the companies, I'm speaking of the universities, of social institutions, of the citizens themselves. It's the same wave. And this wave is made also of mutual visits. That's why I invited Your Excellency to visit Portugal. I'm so glad that you could accept it for next year. It's a very good news for us to receive you in Portugal, as it has been good news having both Prime Ministers visiting each other in the last few years. And it is even a better news, the fact of having, during our presidency of the European Union, the subject of the relationship between the European Union and India being deepened in the first semester of next year. As it is a wonderful news for everybody, the fact of knowing that there is a support, and also the Portuguese support, for you belonging as permanent member of the Security Council of the United Nations. Because it's a kind of recognition of your role in the world. It's not just a problem of population, not even of economic growth, not even of social power, not only of being the largest democracy in the world, but the fact that you are a key country for the balance of power in the world. And that is, for us, Portugal and Portuguese, very, very, very important. You'll be treated at the highest level in the next conference on the oceans this June, because the oceans themselves, they unify our wills, political wills. That's also why the agreement on the Maritime Museum is so important, because it's a museum conceived for the past but also for the future, for the research concerning the oceans. And not only the science and technology, but also the economic approach to the ocean. Never forgetting, as Your Excellency mentioned, migrations. People must know each other. And migration is a key point for inclusive societies is yours and is the Portuguese. It's very important for mankind, for humanity. As it is, the challenge of climate change we're facing, working together, cooperating together, multilaterally and bilaterally. So that's why I said we're living a new era, made of concrete achievements, of concrete steps, signing agreements, creating new companies, making new investments, having people moving from one country to the other, knowing each other educationally and culturally. Thank you. Thank you very much for this occasion. And we'll never forget how important was this step in the phases we're living. I say it on behalf of the Portuguese people, thanking you, Excellency, but also all the Indian people. Thank you.
Thank you. It's okay.